Hello friends and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This video is in the playlist called Linux Tutorial, and here we'll be learning about the Linux directory tree. As you know, the term directory can interchangeably be used to mean folder, so they're equivalent, folder, directory. Okay, so for Unix, Linux flavors, the term usually used is directory, okay? But bear in mind it refers to a folder. Okay, so the Linux directory tree, um just a few points here. Okay, so it's a single root directory instead of drive, C, D, etc., which we are used to. What I mean is in the Windows file system, which we are very much familiar with, we would be so familiar with or so used to referring to a drive by the letters either starting from C, D onwards. Um, but in Linux, there's no such thing. We simply have a single root directory, which is denoted by a slash, a forward slash. Okay. Next point is that all folders and files in the Linux file system are organized under that root directory, the slash. And it's also a hierarchical tree structure, meaning it could be folders beneath folders beneath folders, just like what we see and do and use in the Windows file system. Okay, so that's it. Okay, from time to time I'll be using the command called clear, and you can see that it is very useful if you want to clear the screen. Okay, so now let's understand the tree. For that, I will first be using a command called tree, but this is not a command which is readily available once you have your Linux environment. For you to be able to use this command, you must first install it. Okay, so you can Google that in your own sweet time. Okay, so just for now, bear in mind that you will need to install this command before you can use it. Okay, so I will just use it so that you can have the purpose of this command is to have a visualization of the directory tree of Linux. Okay. All right. So you can see a tree, and in the previous video in this playlist, you might have seen me in the video using the command pwd, which is what it does is it prints the current working directory or the current location where you are in the file system. Okay, so if I execute now the pwd, which prints the current directory, it will tell me the location where I am at. So I am at home dbos snap tree. Okay. So remember that this slash on the leftmost of the path is the root. That's the root directory. That's why we have the term directory tree. If you will think of a physical tree, the living thing, then you would know that it all starts from the roots. It doesn't grow from the leaves. It starts growing from a seed and then it builds up roots. So same thing in the directory tree, it all starts from the root. So the slash or the forward slash in the Linux file system is called the root directory. That's where it all begins. So all paths, folder paths, directory paths are referenced or are located with reference to the root, which is just a slash. So meaning after the slash, which is the root, comes this directory called home. And then if you go one level deeper, there's another directory called dbos. After that, there's another one level deeper or one directory deeper or lower. Then there's another directory called snap and so on. So let me just clear this thing off and then go to the home directory. Okay, so right now I just reset myself. I'm in the home directory. We can talk about this in another video, but for now, just get to know that we're at what is known as the home directory. This is the home directory because the user logged in is called DBOS. So this is the home directory of the username DBOS. All right. So let me clear the screen. So I'm located at /home/dbos. Now, if I type the tree command I talked to you about, then it will show the directory structure, right? The dot here, the dot in Linux has a meaning. It means the current location, your current location. So that means the value being output by the output of the command pwd, which is home dbos for now, is referring to this dot over here. We are currently located at this dot, and that dot, which means the current directory, is this. We are here. All right. So if I want to go one level deeper, which means I'll go to the directory called snap, I will use a command called cd. Okay, so you'll get to learn about this command called cd. Okay, I'll paste it here. All right. CD stands for change directory, and it's the same one that is being used in Windows because Unix was way ahead, was there before Windows was born. All right. So it's the same command. The CD change directory helps you to change that. That's what it does. It helps you to change to a different folder, to a different location. So we're going step by step so that you don't get confused. Again, I said the dot refers to the current directory you are in, which is the output of the pwd command here. So we are at home/home/dbos. And if we wanted to go one level deeper or one level lower, which is a directory called snap, I would use the cd command. Okay, so cd snap, and it goes there. You don't see the full path because otherwise you'll get overwhelmed. You have the option, there's an option to display the full path, but that will be overwhelming for some, so it will only show you a snippet of that. And actually this tilde over here, this tilde character, also refers to the home directory. But again, we'll talk about it in another video. Okay, so if I run or execute the pwd command again, it will show me a different value now as compared to before. So before, when I run or I executed pwd, my location was /home/dbos. But after doing a cd from this location, the dot, and one level deeper to snap folder or directory, my pwd output is now like this, which mirrors whatever you are visually seeing in the directory tree over here. All right, so we are at home dbos, /home/dbos/snap. That's the current directory. Okay, so again, using the cd command for changing directory. So knowing that our pwd is actually already here, if I want to go one directory deeper or one level deeper, I will use you guess it, cd command. So from here, snap, going to tree, I'll say cd tree. Okay, and then if we want to verify again, I will run or use the pwd command to know where I am at. And you can see it's consistent. It is correct. So now I am at /home/dbos/snap/tree. This is the home dbos, which is the home directory. During that time, that was the current directory at the time. And then I cd to snap, which is here. And then I cd to the directory called tree, which is here. Okay. So in fact, if I run the tree command now, it will show you a slightly different tree. Why? Because the dot is the pwd, but our pwd, our current directory, is now at home dbos snap tree. Okay, so I hope it doesn't get confusing. Okay, so in these exercises, we are just repetitively using two commands. One is the cd, which is to change directory, and then we are also using pwd, which prints the current working directory. Okay, so again, if you want to know where you're at, you type pwd to tell you where you're at. Okay, and then if you want to go one level deeper, okay, I'll just go to the cd home. Okay, to get it clear. So okay, so remember the clear command is meant to clear the screen. All right, so I'll pwd again. I'm at this location. If I type the tree command, it will show you visually where we are. So the dot again refers to the current directory. So that is consistent with the output of the pwd command. So that means the /home/dbos is this dot over here right now. Yep. And then if I want to go to one level deeper, which is to a directory called snap, I would do cd snap. All right, and that's where I'm at now. If I do a pwd, it will be a different location or value as compared to this. Okay, so and so on. Again, if I want to go from snap and one level deeper to tree, I will cd tree. And then if I want to verify that, I will again use the pwd command, print the current working directory, and I'm at home/dbos /snap/tree. Okay, so I don't want to overwhelm you with too much of these things. In these exercises, we were just using mostly, for the most part, two commands, pwd and to know where we're at, and the cd command, change directory command. Okay, but the most important of all is to have an understanding of the directory tree of Linux, which is very much similar to the one we know of and familiar to in the Windows file system. Okay. Again, the high-level differences between the Linux directory tree and that of the Windows is that here, instead of using letters for drive, like drive C, drive D, etc., here we're just using a single root directory represented by a slash, which is when you look at your path, the full path, it is at the leftmost. That is the root directory. Okay, and then everything under that folders or directories are delimited by slashes. Okay, so that means after the root, there's a directory called home, and beneath that, there is a directory called dbos, and beneath that, or below that, there's also a directory called snap, and so on. Okay, so again, just to remind you that the tree command is not something that's readily available in your Linux file system. It's something that you need to install, but not very difficult. You will just you can Google that on your own. But in these exercises, I hope you have a better appreciation of the Linux directory tree, because in the subsequent videos, we will be coming back to this concept. This will become the core of how we will move around and doing file manipulation, file management, and those things, and navigating up and down the directory tree, as well as moving laterally in the directory tree. Okay, thank you for watching and listening. If you haven't subscribed, please click subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.